Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. The market took a dip today and XRP has held above a key level, at least at the time that I'm recording this video. Certainly lots of optimism ahead. And what we saw today is something that one of my very favorite chart analysts out there called for. He said, and I quote, "And we have arrived," end quote. He literally called this, I think it was a couple days ago. I'll show you what he said towards the beginning part of this video. So this is more ranging. This is an opportunity for more people to get shaken out. They become dissatisfied. My God, it goes down yet again. We're never going to get out of this. And so it's the weaker hands that get thrown out. And it's so funny because if you actually need some serious validation in terms of long-term viability for the asset class, did you see some of the news today? This is incredible stuff here. The largest bank in the United States holds a Bitcoin ETF, and so does the nation's United States third largest bank. And so, of course, this would be the Bitcoin ETF held on behalf of the customers, but does that not tell you something? Like, and look, unless we get thrown back into the Stone Age because we destroy ourselves as a species, outside of that, as long as the internet exists, this crypto asset class is just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not even a question anymore. The people that want to debate that are damn fools. We're 15 years into this, and adoption only goes one way. I mean, look at what's happening in terms of network effects. Forget the fact that, yes, the asset class is volatile and crashes 80, 90+% at times. Sure, it has done that. Even then, it's still trending up. But if you look at the actual adoption in terms of network effect and the humans jumping in over a span of 15 years now, it's undeniable. It's going in one direction. So on a day like this where the market's down, you just recognize that you are early. Kudos to you. Congratulations. This is how you win the damn lottery. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it is 5:41 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone. I'm here in the good old Midwest of the United States. It is Friday, May 10th, 2024. XRP is above 50 cents by a little bit. Bitcoin, $60,795. XRP technically, for like a split second, broke below 50 cents at as recorded by Live Coin Watch here. It was at 49.9599 cents for like a split second earlier today. So that means that it would have only been that low on select exchanges because the way that they've taken all this information, well, it's proprietary, so I don't pretend to know everything, but they're taking what is literally an average or something close to that with maybe some other factors thrown in to show what the global rate of XRP is. So for a split second, not even on every single exchange, that's a key level that is actually holding there. Bitcoin got as low as $60,379. So if you look at a 24-hour chart, I mean, yeah, fell off a cliff here around 9 a.m. this morning because within the last 24 hours, it was as high as $63,471. And so I did notice yesterday there were a number of analysts thinking, okay, well, this is probably a sign that, or at least possibly a sign. I didn't see strong conviction, but there were some analysts that were thinking, okay, well, it's probably going to move to the upside. But I will tell you, one analyst who didn't think that was probable was chart analyst Credible Crypto. Here's a post from May 8th, and he wrote, "Looks like we are going for the blue path. One more strong push down should do it. Then I think we may see some relief." And by the way, when he's talking about relief here, he's talking about Bitcoin after crashing down to maybe $59,000 to $60,000, which is about what we got today. Bitcoin climbing back up, maybe closer to, call it $68,000 to $71,000. Now, in a separate post, which I don't have pulled up here, he indicated that he does think once that happens, there's probably still going to be another pull to the downside. So we are just ranging, and this beats people up. But that is what it is. If you want your life-changing wealth, you have to actually be an adult and be patient. That's that. And so then he followed up with that post this afternoon at 1:07 p.m. and he wrote, "And we have arrived." And he highlighted this this screen grab here, showing that we'd actually moved to the downside. So that's the updated version here. So from his perspective, he's like, yeah, this is what he thought was going to happen. But people are still freaking out. And here's a post from Pro XRP chart analyst Bobby A. He wrote, oh, by the way, this is a crypto total market cap chart. And you can see what he's indicating here is a chart pattern which even I know, even though I'm not a chart analyst, which is an inverse head and shoulders. He's indicating a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder, which is bullish if these patterns play out. And his expectation obviously is that it will. It's a bullish formation moving to the upside. And so he said, the market will try everything in its power to get you to capitulate just before the most explosive and rewarding phase. It will then take off with minimal pullbacks, forcing you to enter at a much higher level. Don't allow it to do this to you. Yeah, that's right. It's way more simple than people make it out to be. Either you have exposure when the thing goes, or you don't. And for those who have conviction, though, if you just sit there and hold, it's like easy. If you have genuine conviction, this actually isn't as hard as if you don't. If you don't have strong conviction about the long-term viability of the asset class, then you're flying by the seat of your pants like, what if it does go down? Oh my God. And I put in this much money and then it's worth that much less. Oh my God. And then you freak out. But if you have firm conviction that even if that happens and what you invested goes down by 50% or 70%, if you have firm conviction that this asset class is here to stay, you're going to have a much easier time sleeping at night. And I do believe that. So even when I've been down substantially on coins, and some coins I hold, I am down substantially, even now, the more recent purchases. But my conviction is that it moves to the upside. And I've been holding, never cashing out to United States dollars in the 6+ years I've been in crypto. And I plan fully to cash out this market cycle because I think it'll be sufficient. I'll be sufficiently enticed. That's my expectation anyway. But I genuinely have that conviction. It's no more complex than that. I get broad exposure to the asset class. Maybe I don't get any of my money back on some of the coins. Maybe they go to zero. Maybe I'm wrong or I bungle it somehow. But I have broad enough exposure with a ton. I hold about I think exactly 42 cryptocurrencies, way more than a person necessarily needs. But I have that because I've been here too long. So I'm just not worried about it. And if I'm wrong, yeah, I could lose everything if the asset class is going to zero. But it's been 15 years. I don't think that's a legitimate argument anymore. I just don't. Here's a post from chart analyst Tony Severino. And he said, bears are attempting to uncross a bullish crossover of the LMACD. They look to thus far be successful. This could lead to a stronger leg down in Bitcoin. And so he noted the other day that what he thought based on some metrics, and I think I highlighted it in a video yesterday, he thought what was probable was a move to the upside. He didn't think this was probable, but understand that when it comes to charting, it's not you see something and then you know for sure what's going to happen. It's about probabilities. And sometimes the improbable happen. You don't know for sure. And so that's why, consider it conceptually. If anybody's having a hard time considering it, what is a chart analyst actually doing? What value are they actually offering? Well, even if, you can be a successful chart analyst let me say, I don't encourage trading, but you could be a successful trader even if you're right 51% of the time. That means you're mostly right. And so if you make enough trades, you're going to be more right than wrong. Now, if you're publicly stating all these trades, people are going to be like, they wouldn't know that you're up by 1%. You're 1% in the good, basically, as far as 51% rather than, a 50-50 odds. They wouldn't know that. So if you're publicly saying what you're doing, you're going to look like an idiot. That would be the perception. You're way incorrect. And so not that good analysts would be right only 51% of the time. But what I'm noting is you can find success if you are a chart analyst and you are a trader, even with a notable percentage of incorrect suspicions. Now, I still don't think anybody should be a trader. Data shows that something like 90 to 95% of traders lose money. But I'm just sharing with you that is the concept. And so many people they mock traders and say, okay, so what you're saying is it could go up or it could go down. And I see that stuff and I roll my eyes. I'm just like, no. It could, but it's about probability of outcome. Do you believe that that's valuable? The data shows very clearly the answer is yes. That's why what analysts are doing here, I find it valuable, even though I don't want to be one myself. Here's a post from Matthew Hyland, and he's showing the Bitcoin USD chart here, and he wrote, Bitcoin pattern remains intact as long as support at $59,600 holds. And what is he showing here? For Bitcoin, an inverse head and shoulders. And so Bobby A, he was highlighting an inverse head and shoulders for the entire crypto asset class. And here you have, of course, the asset class moves in tandem, which is why I find that interesting. Matthew Hyland saying, yep, here, I'll make it full screen for you. Now, does that mean for sure it's going to play out? Well, no. He thinks it's probable that it will, though. So just kind of about playing the odds. And if that does, that means move to the upside. And then we just got to get through the range. Here's a post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment. Traders are showing weak buy-the-dip interest in Bitcoin's latest retrace down to as low as $60,200 today. Generally, the crowd's lack of faith is a strong sign of prices being close to a bottom. Now, that sounds counterintuitive to people who are brand new to crypto or brand new to investing, but that's indeed the case. When the sentiment is miserable, that means you're at or near the bottom. Probably, right? That's now sentiment can be negative for a really long period of time. So once it flips negative, if you're heading into a bear market, fine, ride that bitch down even further. Got it. But we're in a bull market, so that makes it less probable that that's what we'd see, and way more probable that at some point we are going to see a continuation to the upside. Rather, it's just you got to wash out the weak hands. That's just how this is. It's rinse and repeat. It's human emotions. The markets. It's way less complex than some people think. It's one of the reasons I don't have anything to sell you. I have no course to sell you. Just know some basic stuff. Control your emotions. You're probably going to make a metric F-word ton of money. It's pretty much it. You got to be patient. Here's a post, another one from Santiment. This one's cool. Midterm returns for average wallets continue to show big losses, particularly for the more speculative and volatile altcoins. Several assets fall into what we call the opportunity zone when calculating the pictured asset's market value to realized values, MVRV, of 1 month, 3 month, and 6 month cycles. Though further dips can occur, probability indicates that adding on to positions at these levels would be doing so at less risk than the average midterm trading time frame. Well, how about that? So it seems scary out there, and you're saying that when it's scary out there and you feel like an idiot buying stuff, that's actually the right time to buy stuff? No way. No way. And so, again, it's very obvious to me, but I've been here long enough for it's just like, hit me with this stuff. I'm like, yep. Of course. Now, somebody's brand new, though, or they have trouble conveying their emotions. You need to hear this stuff again. We are humans. It's not the case that we hear something important one time and then it just seeps in and it never needs to be repeated. That's typically not how we work as humans. Repetition is useful. That's why we use it in communication. How many times when you're expressing an important point in a conversation with somebody, do you beat them over the head with the same concept? You're not even intentionally thinking that's what you're doing, but you are. You repeat. Repetition matters. It's useful. And so you can't just know this data. I can't just say it to you one time and then say, that's it, you're good. No. No. We are humans, and these fears, they creep back in. You need to be reminded here. But the fact that we are where we are, we've been ranging sideways, today's a down day, it just won't matter in the end. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto's. XRP held to the 50-cent level very well as the market continued to dump. 50 cents is our level to watch till Sunday. And so he's talking about the weekly close and the importance of holding that, which he had indicated 1 or 2 days ago. And so it has to this point. It's a crucial level. We'll see what happens. Now, of course, if Bitcoin takes a further dive down, is it going to hold? Less confident. But even if so, we're talking about short-term price action just for the fun of it. But it doesn't change what happens on a higher time frame. It doesn't change whether or not we are correct about the long-term viability of the entire crypto asset class. What is your conviction? My conviction is we are going to have a blow-off top this market cycle. My conviction is that crypto's here to stay, period. And so even if I'm betting on all the wrong horses and I bought every single wrong crypto and they're all eventually going to go to zero, the asset class is still here to stay because it offers utility. Humans find the things that are possible, including business models. They find these things possible that are not possible without the technology. That's the reason the coins attached to these blockchains should be worth something. And it's just a messy process because with the advent of an entire asset class like this, of course it's going to be messy. Most ideas are bad ideas, and coins attached to most of those blockchains and ideas, since they're not valuable, they're going to go to zero. It's the same thing during the dot-com boom and bust. How many companies went to zero during that phase? Now, did that mean that the internet was a scam? Of course not. People tried all sorts of stuff. It's messy. Welcome to capitalism. Welcome to entrepreneurship. It is messy, so that's how we sort things out. And the market will tell you if you've got a good idea or a bad idea. And this time, it's with crypto, it's on a global scale. Like instantaneously global. Just about anyway, right? It's cool as hell. So, some of the naysayers point to the fact that, there's so many scams in the crypto space and a lot of stuff's bad ideas and it's going to zero. That doesn't mean anything. If you have that mentality with the internet, then we just wouldn't have the internet if you were correct. Here's a post from popular chart analyst Dan Gam Bardello, with over 250,000 followers on social media platform X. And he had a video, he was talking about crypto in general, but also he had a segment specifically about XRP. And I just wanted to mention that, because I keep seeing this over and over again, he highlighted a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, perspectives from all sorts of analysts, indicating, okay, so on the surface, metrics, if you don't know what you're talking about, you look at various XRP metrics and they look abysmal. And he was highlighting, well, okay, compare that to previous market cycles. What happened when the metrics look like this? Where on the surface you might think it's bad, XRP price against Bitcoin, the dominance level, all that stuff. And he's just noting effectively, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here, look what happened after that. And that's the moment in time that we are at right now. So that hasn't changed. The fact that we're ranging and it's less exciting to people, I understand that. I understand why some people would be less interested in following what's going on a regular basis, and some people have checked out. And so if you're here, you're probably hyper interested just like I am. But it doesn't change anything. Either this thing's going to go or it's not. And I firmly believe it is. Here's a post from chart analyst Donovan Jolly, and he's talking about XRP and what's to come here. He said, OG altcoins are waking up and following perfectly with the all-time altcoin total market cap. This is a fractal showing this is our super cycle. XRP is also following the exact same accumulation it did before 2017. This rocket is about to take off, and this is an XRP USD chart. And I've seen tons of analysts say strikingly similar things, comparing 2017 to what is happening now. XRP cannot and will not range here forever. No asset does that. Not forever. It can do it for prolonged periods of time. And subjectively, some would say it is right now, even though it's only been a little over 6 weeks, that we've been ranging recently. But it will not stay here. What is your conviction? Because eventually XRP goes to zero or it hits a new all-time high. What is your conviction? Mine is that it's going to hit a new all-time high, and we're going to find out together. But I've never felt more strongly about that. And in terms of long-term viability, since this is all packaged together, and there's a reason I've been delivering in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, the messages that I'm delivering is because of what's on your screen right here. Even if you don't care about Bitcoin, cool. I mean, I hold a bunch of Bitcoin. I'm not excited by it, but I'm thankful for it. Got this whole thing going. But what you're seeing right here is more proof, more validation. What more do you need at this point? Look at the headline. America's largest bank, JP Morgan Chase, discloses spot Bitcoin ETF holdings. SEC filing. So there's an SEC filing. That's how we know that. I don't even need to read the article. The headline says enough just for the purposes of this video anyway. And mind you, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, look at the headline. This is from January 17th. Jamie Dimon says he's done talking about Bitcoin. I don't care. And there's some choice quotes in here. He said, quote, I call it the pet rock, end quote. Look, bubbles form in legitimate asset classes and illegitimate assets even, right? But, there's never been a bubble that goes to full mania, the bubble pops, and then it reinflates and hits a higher peak. That's never happened in history. But it did with Bitcoin, and it did with crypto, broadly speaking. So to compare this to a pet rock is disingenuous, but maybe he believes what he's saying. I don't know. Either way, I mean, it could be possible he doesn't believe about it on a personal level, but JP Morgan, even though he's in charge of it, he's like, well, we're just going to jump in anyway. Or he's just being disingenuous. I don't know. I don't know what's in his heart and mind. He's wrong if he actually believes that. But either way, this is the largest bank in the United States, and it's offered to the customers, like right there. I mean, as far as I know, I read the article, I didn't see anything about this being on JP Morgan's personal balance sheet. I don't believe that's the case. I think it's just for the customers, but that doesn't matter. If they thought that this was some legitimate scammer, it was going to zero, they wouldn't want egg on their face. They wouldn't allow their customers to have that exposure if they had that conviction. But they don't. So what more validation do you need? It's from it's from JP Morgan. And they're not the only ones. This broke today also. Here's the headline from Cointelegraph. Wells Fargo reports exposure to Grayscale and ProShares Bitcoin ETFs. That's the nation's third largest bank, Wells Fargo. They're holding Bitcoin ETFs. They both are. It's only going to get bigger. So if you're worried about what's happening with XRP or anything, understand the asset class moves in tandem. As long as cryptocurrencies offer utility, those are the ones that, it's a virtual certainty in my mind anyway. They're going to have truly long-term staying power. XRP has proven to this point for over a decade. Yes, it does. And it's just increasingly going in that direction. All this uncertainty in the meantime, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. And I don't think that the ETFs themselves are having, a particularly notable impact in terms of Bitcoin prices, at least as far as what it's going to mean this cycle for a peak. Because if you look at the total volume where it's coming from, the vast majority of what's happening here is Bitcoin from, legacy accounts, basically. It's shuffling hands. It's not the ETF specifically, though. And that's just, you can look at on-chain metrics to verify. I've talked about this in previous videos. But even though that's the case, as more time passes, this will be of greater consequence, which is why I said before this launch of these ETFs, before the SEC approved them, I said it'll be great to have the news. It's going to be a sell the news event, which it was. And then, over a span of years and decades, you'll see that it was incredibly impactful. And that I still believe is accurate. I think that analysis is accurate here. So I'm just sticking with it. I hope you guys are feeling good out there. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.